Hi once again, here's Colin Woolway with another teaser. This is one that I call negative accenting, but it's not really called that for any grand cosmic musical reason. You'll see why in a minute why I call it negative accenting. First of all, let's take some ordinary notes, like groups of three, for example. We accent the first note of every three, so we've got... Now it's pretty well known within the whole sort of drum sense concept that when we do accents, we move accents out onto toms and accent out onto cymbals. So groups of three would end up sounding like this. And I thought it would be fun one day when I had little else to do to maybe turn that whole thing around. So instead of rolling on the snare and accenting on the toms, what if I rolled on the toms and accented on the snare? So you see where I get the negative from, because it's just the same concept but the other way round. So my groups of three would now go. And I could move my right hand from there to there, so I get... And of course, you've got a completely different take on a very easy exercise. If I go from one to another, it actually sounds a bit like you're playing two completely different things. So if I go, for example, even better if you speed it up a bit. This is very much the stuff of, what on earth are you doing there? It's not really difficult. You've just taken a concept and turned it around. Groups of four. There's even extracts from Drum Sense Volume 1 DVD by Stick Library, where we subdivide 16th notes into smaller groups, like, for example, a group of three, a group of three, a group of three, a group of three, and a group of four. So it's 3, 3, 3, 3, 4. Now, what we do with that is we play the accents on the toms, and we get this rhythm. But of course, if you turn that around and you do the negative, and in other words, you roll on the toms to get the accents on the snare, you get this. So it's all good fun. Now, it starts to get really interesting if you start using rudiments. And the one that I'm going to demonstrate here is the paradiddle. So here's a paradiddle. Okay, accents on toms. So far so good. Now here what happens when I change to accents on snare and play the paradiddle bit on the tom-toms. You get a completely different feel. Even more fun is the, I think what's called a reverse paradiddle. So it's literally diddle para, which is where you start with the diddle and the para comes on this sort of offbeat. So you get... So if I play the accents on the toms, you get offbeat accents against the downbeat quarter note on the hi-hat. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, change the accenting system around. So I accent the snare. slightly different. As I said earlier, for want of a better title, I call that negative accenting.